Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you, wherever you may be. We're here in Denver, Colorado, to start a 4-game series at sunset time. Heavy clouds have already moved out. It is still a vast improvement, however, from the last time we were here. Back in April, bitter cold, ice water raindrops. The fans were bundled up. Hand warmers were needed in the dugouts. Hand warmers were needed on the field to be applied in the ears. But tonight is not bad at all. We've already dodged a weather front. At 3 hours before the game, the sky was black, but the wind is out of the west, blowing from left to right at the time, and it moved all the threatening clouds out of here, and now prospects of getting the ball game in. As we look at the visiting Dodgers with their 8-game winning streak on the road, Cesar Izturis, Jason Worth, and Paul LaDuca, Adrian Beltre, Milton Bradley, and Sean Green, Juan Encarnacion, Jose Hernandez playing second base, Alex Cora sits down with a left-hander on the mound, Kaz Ishi on the mound for the Dodgers. Sean Estes, who is 10-4. He was 8-11 last year, and they were talking about how his career was spiraling downward. Well, anything but. He is 3-0 against the Dodgers this year. He's trying to be the first Rocky pitcher ever to win 4 in a single season against the Dodgers. 3-0 against them, and 5-0 in 9 starts against the West. So the Dodgers figure to have their hands full with Sean Estes, and it'll be Izturis, Worth, and LaDuca in that order. So Cesar Izturis checking in, batting .301, 3 home runs, 38 runs batted in, and has hit safely in 13 out of 14. Remember, he had a 12-game hitting streak. Takes high, ball 1, and we're underway. As the Dodgers play Colorado 4, the Giants will be playing San Diego 4. Izturis, meanwhile, a fly ball to right field. Larry Walker is there to pick it off, and just like that, 1 out. It is a different Rockies team, and especially now, you have Larry Walker, Preston Wilson, and Jeremy Burnitz in the outfield. That has given them extra sock. And then on the infield, Helton, Miles, Clayton, and Castilla, and the battery of Estes and Johnson. Of course, anytime Walker's in uniform on the field, the Rockies figure to be stronger. And now the batter is Jason Worth. Estes fastball in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Sean Estes doesn't throw too hard. His fastball in the 80s has a little cutter and a changeup. Misses this time with the overhand curveball, and the count 1-1. Jason Worth hitting .281, but he's had a lot of success on the road. Jason fouls the next one back, and the count 1-2. So Worth facing the veteran Sean Estes. Estes, a look with the Mariners. He was a #1 pick by Seattle back in 1991. And the 1-2 curveball hit to center. Preston Wilson is there to glove it. And just like that, 2 down in the first inning. And Paul LaDuca will be coming up. Sean Estes, 6'2", about 200 pounds, born in San Bernardino, lives over in Nevada. A first-round pick by the Mariners, but he really made his major league debut with the Giants in 1995. Left them in 2002, split a year with the Mets and Reds, then went to the Cubs, and now here he is with the Rockies. Paul LaDuca looks at a strike, and the count 0-1. LaDuca batting .304. He has 9 home runs, 46 runs batted in. Estes does not have a great strikeout to walk ratio. He works away with a fastball, and the count 1-1. In fact, he has allowed more hits than innings pitched, and he has walked 65. So he's worked out of the stretch a lot. 1-1 pitch, a slicing fly ball to right. The Gold Glove Walker is there to handle it. So the Dodgers are done on 3 fly balls. So the Dodgers go in order. And at the end of half an inning, Dodgers nothing. Dodgers go down in order on 3 fly balls. And the Rockies coming up now in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the way Colorado stacks up. Aaron Miles at second base and Royce Clayton the shortstop. Todd Helton at first base with Vinny Castilla at third base cleaning up. Larry Walker is in right field. Preston Wilson in center. Jeremy Burnett in left. Charles Johnson behind the plate. And Sean Estes on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Kaz Ishii, 11-5. Last time out, he allowed 6 runs, 7 hits, and 3 third innings, and he lost to the Rockies 6-5. He is 1-2 in 3 starts this year with an earned run average over 9. He is 4-5 in 11 starts in his career against the Rockies. And as we mentioned earlier, his earned run average here at Coors Field is 8.5. So Kaz ready to go to work. Aaron Miles will start it off. Fine young second baseman, right-hand batter. He takes a little high, ball 1, and the count 1-0. Aaron Miles with a 13-game hitting streak. Third longest active streak in the majors. Kaz Ishii checks, ready, and comes back 1-0, and that drops in for a strike, and the count 1-1. So Ishii with 11-5, 1-2, 4-5 lifetime, trying to pick up his 12th win and trying to extend the Dodger winning streak on the road to 9. The 1-1 pitch, curveball, but it stayed up. The old story, the high altitude, the mile-high city. And pitchers have anguished here ever since they started. The fact that the curveball doesn't break as sharply. 2-1 to count to Aaron Miles. Ishii ready, comes back with a breaking ball down at Miles' ankles. And now the count 3-1. Miles batting .310, 4 home runs, 30 runs batted in, and has done a solid job, especially since the 1st of June. Kaz ready, and a fastball at the knees for a strike, and the count 3-2. So to give you a difference of style, Sean Estes made 9 pitches to retire the side as she is ready to make his 6th pitch to the leadoff man. Kaz rocks and turns on the rubber. 3-2 fastball, and that's lifted into left field. Coming in is Jason Worth. He is there now and makes the catch for the out. So 1 away, and the batter will be Royce Clayton. When you look at the defensive alignment for the Dodgers, among other things, Juan Encarnacion with 3 outfield assists, but in the wildest ballpark in the majors, from foul line to foul line, you have to have outfielders who can really cover the ground. Worth, Bradley, and Encarnacion have been asked to do just that. And remember, it was here that Milton Bradley hurt himself trying to cut off a ball hit in the gap in right center field. Royce Clayton fouls it away, and the count 0-1. Bradley went into a slide to try to cut the ball off, and that's when his ankle caught and gave him some misery, but he has bounced back nicely. But when you play center here, you're all over the lot. Clayton waiting, batting .288, right hand hitting shortstop, looks at a strike, and the count 0-1. Royce Clayton has scored 68 runs while hitting .288. He has a half a dozen home runs, 40 runs batted in. Ishii turns, ready, in the strike one. Curveball drops in nicely, and that'll do it for Clayton. So Royce Clayton caught looking at the curve. Down he goes, and the batter will be Todd Helton. So Ishii shows that once in a while a curve can break nicely. He puts Clayton on the shelf, and now Todd Helton. In looking at the battle between these two, as Helton waits at the plate, Kaz ready and comes to him, and a big bender high and inside, ball 1. Helton is hitting .250 against Kaz. No home runs. Charles Johnson has 3 against him, and Vinny Castilla has 2. Fastball low and away, and the count 2-0 to Todd Helton. So we have 2 down, first inning, no score in the ball game. Dodgers and Rockies meeting for the 9th time and they have split 8. 2-0 pitch is swung on and missed, and the count 2-1. The Dodgers, having split 8 with the Rockies, they have overwhelmed Arizona. They've won 6 out of 9 from San Diego. They've won 7 out of 13 from San Francisco. So only Colorado has held them to a standstill. The next pitch high, and the count 3-1. As the Dodgers have an 8-game road string of victories, so the Rockies have turned things around surprisingly. The Rockies enjoying a good month. They have 14-8 in July. 3-1 pitch, Heldon fouls it away. The Rockies have just come back from a road trip that saw them win 4 out of 5. And for that matter, the Rockies have won 9 of the last 12 road games. What makes it interesting, they're 3 games under 500 at home, and that's not the usual story here. In fact, only in 1999 did the Rockies have a poor home record. 3-2 pitch on the way, and Heldon shies on a pitch high and inside. Ball 4. So with a runner at first, Vinny Castilla coming up. Vinny Castilla, 2 home runs against Ishii, one of them the last time they faced each other. Vinny hitting .364 against Ishii. He's batting .284 overall. 21 home runs, 83 runs batted in. So Vinny Castilla has come back with a vengeance, hitting in a favorite ballpark. So Vinny waiting with Helton at first and 2 out. Kaz ready and comes to his hitter. A fastball, a towering fly ball to left center, but it's playable. And Jason Work puts it away on the grass in the neighborhood of the .390 sign. So no runs, no hits, a man left. And at the end of an inning, no. Sean Estes making his first pitch to Adrian Beltre, high and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Beltre hitting .328 against the league. 27 home runs, 71 runs batted in. Estes back with a fastball, low, ball 2. Beltre is hitting .333 against Estes, including a home run and 8 runs batted in. Sean ready, and the left-hander's 2-0 pitch is swung on, driven to right, and Walker just turns around to watch that thing go upstairs. So Adrian Beltre goes the other way and hits his 28th home run of the year, and the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead for Estes, the 15th home run that he has allowed. Larry Walker knew as soon as Beltre made contact. All Walker did was kind of turn around. He has turned around to seeing a lot of home runs in this ballpark, of course. So the Dodgers get on the board as Beltre hits it out. Fastball down around the knees. Adrian didn't try to pull it, just went with the 2-seamer and skied it out of here. And the Dodgers lead 1-0. And the batter will be Milton Bradley, hitting right-handed. Estes delivers a fastball, swung on and missed, and the count 0-1. Sean Estes is trying to turn things around. A couple of years ago, he was a 15-game winner. Then he only won 9. Year after that, he was 5-12. The year after that, he was 8-11, and people were saying, up, he's about done. 31 years old, but instead he's come battling back, and he's 10-4. 2-1 pitch on the way. Hard ground ball to the hole. Base hit into left field. So Milton Bradley follows Beltre's home run with a single, and the batter will be Sean Green. 1-0 Dodgers in the early going. The home run by Adrian Beltre. The Dodgers have a lot of plus signs. Not only are they in first place, not only have they won 8 in a row on the road, not only are they 18-4 in July, they're also winners of 11 of the last 13, 17 of the last 20, 20 of the last 25. Sean Green takes a big slow curveball inside, ball 1, 1-0. Sean with only 5 hits against Estes, batting less than 200 against him. Estes back inside again with a fastball, and the count 2-0. So Estes gives up the home run. With his 10 victories, he is tied for 7th in the league. His winning percentage is 9th. The 2-0 pitch on the way. And the fastball is grounded just fair over first down the line. Walker has to go in the corner to get it. At third base now is Bradley, being waved in. Miles throw to the plate is not in time. On a double by Green, Bradley scores, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. So Shawn Green comes up with his second RBI against Sean Estes, and timeout. They'll have a huddle on the mound. Green got it right over the bag and down the line, so the Dodgers now have jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Interesting, because Colorado pitching on the road, we mentioned they were 4-1 on the road, and their starting pitchers were 4-0 with an earned run average of 2.1. So now they come home, and of course here in this ballpark it is twice as tough to pitch. Shawn Green doubles in a run. Adrian Beltre homered. Bob Apodaca out to counsel Estes. Remember, Estes is 5-1 here in this ballpark. That's pretty amazing. And 5-0 against the West. So now the batter is Juan Encarnacion, with Green at second, 2 runs in. Dodgers leading 2-0. Encarnacion 1 for 7 against Estes. And the first pitch, a check swing. They look at first. No swing, says Bruce Dreckman. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. Encarnacion batting .240, 13 home runs, 43 runs batted in, trying to pick up Green. Nobody out here. Estes out of a stretch. A look back at second. Back he comes with a fastball. A broken bat ground ball to Clayton. Clayton throws him out, and with the bat and the ball in front of him, Green stayed at second. So yet another broken bat. If there's ever been a trademark this year, it's all the splintered wood that we have seen ever since spring training began. So 1 away, and the batter will be Jose Hernandez, taking over at second base for Alex Cora. Hernandez batting .294. He's done a fine job. Half a dozen home runs, 12 runs batted in. He has a home run against Estes in the past. Takes ball 1. Jose hitting just .226 against the left-hander. 1 ball and no strikes. 2-0 Dodgers. Top of the second. Estes ready. Another look back at Green. And the pitch high and away with a fastball, ball 2. Remember, as the Dodgers are rolling around Coors Field in a 4-game series, the Giants are hosting San Diego at SBC Park. Hernandez fouls it away, and the count 2-1. And San Diego and San Francisco playing a 4-game series. Kirk Reeder and Jake Peavy in that game, but they'll be a while behind us, about an hour. So not yet started. 2-1 the count to Jose Hernandez. Here comes Estes, breaking ball, but he missed inside with it. Ball 3, and the count 3-1. When you come to Colorado, this is one of the big scenes for rumors, with the July 31st trading deadline approaching. Estes' name has certainly been bandied about. 3-1 pitch, a strike, and the count 3-2. Not only Estes, also Larry Walker in right field. You hear a lot about his name. Estes, who has declared he wants to stay here. He's happy here, and we'll see if he does hang around. Now the 3-2 pitch to Hernandez, swung on and missed a fastball, and down he goes. 2 out, and Kaz Ishii coming up. A reminder, Saturday, August 7th, prior to the game with the Phillies, you can watch from the outfield grass the Hollywood Stars Celebrity Softball game. Rob Lowe, Jamie Kennedy, Jimmy Kimmel, George Lopez among the many scheduled to appear, and the parking gates at Dodger Stadium will open at 5:10, so be sure to get to the stadium early. Now Ishii, who backs off, looks at a curveball for a strike, and the count 0-1. It's 2-0 in favor of the Dodgers. Beltre homered, Bradley singled, and Green doubled in Bradley. Now the strike one pitch is another curveball. Ground ball by the diving Miles into right center field. Base hit and an RBI for Kaz Ishii. For Ishii, he has 4 hits, good for 4 runs batted in. So Green comes in. And for Kaz Ishii, not bad production at all if you can get an RBI every time you get a base hit. So he singles to right center. Green comes home. And the Dodgers lead 3-0. Of course, seeing games like 22-7 here, 16-15 here, no lead really is successful, even though the Dodgers spirits are very high, with Beltre and Green having fun in the dugout. Cesar Torres flied to right field first time. This time punches one on the ground to Aaron Miles. He gets the force to Clayton, and that's it. But not before the Dodgers get 2 singles, a double, and a home run by Adrian Beltre, and take a 3-0 lead. 3-0 Dodgers, bottom of the second inning. A moment ago, we were reading off the scoreboard here at Coors, and we read it as they have it, but they have it incorrectly. They have it San Diego at San Francisco. It's the other way around. San Francisco is at San Diego to begin a 4-game series. Now Kaz Ishii leading 3-0, going to work on Larry Walker, Preston Wilson, and Jeremy Burnitz. Kaz hesitates, then ready and deals. Fastball low and inside. Ball 1 to Walker. Larry hitting over 300 against Kaz, 308 to be exact, and hitting 329 this year. 6 home runs, 19 runs batted in. Big curveball stays inside, and the count 2-0. Larry Walker against Kaz Ishii. Kaz leading 3-0. Walker will be 38 years old in December. The 2-0 fastball is low, ball 3, 3-0. Walker, playing here for so long, since 1995, he has hit as many as 49 home runs in 1 year. 3-0 pitch on the way, and that's down the pipe, 3-1. When he was with the Expos, his home run high was 23. So it really helps to hit here. The 3-1 pitch to Larry Walker, and that's way inside, ball 4. So Walker opens up with a walk. Even though the Dodgers lead 3-0, when Ishii goes up against Sean Estes, you expect to see runs. For instance, the Dodgers have been giving Ishii an average of 7 runs, while the Rockies have been giving Estes just under 7 runs. So it could very well be one of those slugfests, as Ishii has had a lot of trouble here anyway, with an earned run average over 8. So Kaz working on Preston Wilson, and the right-hand batter takes a curveball for a strike, and the count 0-1. Wilson 5 for 23 against Ishii, hitting .239. Had a bad knee, had arthroscopic surgery, and has finally come back, hitting .239. Kaz works a fastball away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Larry Walker at first. There were times in his brilliant career where you could expect some base running and base stealing. Not so much anymore. Certainly not 33 stolen bases. He did that a few years ago. 1-1 pitch. Wilson has a look, and it's low, ball 2, and the count 2-1. So Preston has a look down to his third base coach. Now right back up again as Walker inches off the bag. Larry held on by Sean Green. Kaz looks over at him. Now the left-hander works the plate, and it's popped up into shallow right field. Hernandez looking to right, and Encarnacion is there to glove it. So Walker nowhere to go but back to the bag, and Wilson back to the dugout. So 1 out, and Jeremy Burnitz will be coming up. Jeremy Burnitz checking in, hitting .293. 23 home runs, 69 RBIs. Formerly with the Dodgers, remember, last year. Dodgers traveling secretary emeritus Billy Delury bumped into Jeremy Burnitz before the game. And the pitch to Jeremy down and away, ball one. And Delury said to Jeremy, "Good living here, huh?" And Burnitz grinned and said, "Good hitting here." Well, once you're a ball player, it's not just base hits, it's bread and butter. 1 ball and no strikes to Burnitz, and he takes off the plate, ball 2. Yes, I should say, if Burnitz is hitting .293 here, he wound up hitting .239 last year. He did hit 31 home runs, but he has 23 this year. So Jeremy waiting, Walker at first, 3-0 Dodgers, second inning. Kaz ready, and a fastball is walled. Forget it, gone, no doubt about it. Second level. So Jeremy Burnitz touching them all as he trots casually around the bags. For Burnitz, he had 1 for 5 against Ishii in the past, and it was a home run. So he is now 2 for 6, and both for the distance. 24 home runs for Jeremy. For Ishii, only the 8th home run he's allowed this year, 8. However, it's enough to cut the Dodger lead. It's now Dodgers 3, Rockies 2, and Charles Johnson takes a strike. Charles Johnson really gives Ishii a bad time. He's hitting .462 with 3 home runs against Cavs. The strike 1 pitch, breaking ball, foul back, out of play, and the count 0-2. So Beltre homered, Bradley singled, Green doubled, and Ishii singled in the 3rd run in the top of the 2nd. A walk to Walker and a home run by Burnitz, and it's 3-2 Dodgers in the bottom of the 2nd. Now the strike 2 pitch to Charles Johnson, waved at and missed a curveball almost in the dirt, and down he goes chasing it. Second strikeout for Kaz Ishii, and the batter will be Sean Estes. So Estes coming up, had a fairly good year with the bat last year. The Dodgers cannot take anything for granted. He has 8 hits this year. So Estes, right-hand batter, waiting at the plate. Here comes Ishii with a fastball, and that's fouled back, and the count 0-1. Of course, the Dodgers have just seen a good hitting pitcher yesterday in Adam Eaton. So here is Sean Estes, 3-2 Dodgers, second inning. Game showing every signs of a lot of runs. Strike 1 pitch on the way is a fastball inside, and the count 1-1. As we have so often said, there is no fat lady at Coors Field. No lead is comfortable. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Fastball is whacked into center. So turnabout is fair play. Ishii got a base hit to drive in a run. Now Estes comes up and gets a 2-out single to center. So 3-2 Dodgers. The tying run is aboard now. And Aaron Miles, who flied to left field in the 1st inning, coming up. Aaron, the stocky little second baseman, 5'8", 170, and having a fine year, along with the rookies Jason Bay and Matt Holliday. Bay hitting .315 for Pittsburgh. Miles .310 for the Rockies. Matt Holliday of the Rockies, big guy, hitting .291, but he's an outfielder, and they don't have anywhere to play Holliday, not with Burnitz and Wilson and Walker. So Aaron Miles at 5'8", 170, waiting at the plate. The meeting has been broken up. Kobe goes trotting back to the Dodger dugout, and we'll see Miles versus Ishii in a moment. Miles 2 for 6 against Kaz. He has that 13-game hitting streak. Miles is the boy who was born in Pittsburgh, California, and lives in Antioch, California. A 19th round pick by the Houston Astros way back in 1995. Ishii, a look over at Sean Estes. They're not holding him. The pitch to Miles missing, ball 1, 1-0. They don't expect Estes to do any running. Sean Green stays directly behind him. Davy Collins coaching at first. Sandy Alomar over at third. 1 ball and no strikes to Miles. Kaz ready. Back he comes. Drills a fastball in for a strike. And the count 1-1. Game 1 of the 4-game series. Perez and Cook tomorrow night. Lima and Facero the following night. Alvarez and Wright. That's right. Jamie Wright is back with the Rockies. That'll be a 12:05 game. The next one, a one-hopper to Beltre. He flips it down to Hernandez, and that's that. However, the Rockies bounce back for 2, and at the end of 2, propelled by the home run by Burnett, Dodgers 3, Rockies 2. 3-2 Dodgers as we go to the 3rd inning. Adrian Beltre has homered. Jeremy Burnett has homered. And now it'll be the 2nd time around. That means Jason Worth, Paul LaDuca, and Adrian Beltre against Sean Estes. Estes has not only beaten the Dodgers 3 times without a loss, he's been particularly effective. Worth hits a little foul off first. Coming over is Helton and makes the catch for the out. 1 away. Talking about Estes, he started against the Dodgers on the 11th of April, went 7 innings and allowed 1 earned run. Came back on the 22nd, went 6 innings and allowed 1 earned run. And then his last time against the Dodgers in Los Angeles, he went 6 1/3, picked up a victory and gave up 4 earned runs. So trying to be the first Rockies pitcher in the young history of the ball club to beat the Dodgers 4 times in a single season. The pitch to Paul LaDuca in for a strike and the count 0-1. LaDuca flied to right in the 1st inning. Paul 9 home runs. He takes high again. The 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Estes wears number 55. He did surrender it once when he and Oral Hershiser were teammates with the Giants back in 1998. 1-1 fastball is pulled just foul outside of third. 1-2. And as teammates, knowing that Hershiser had worn the number with such great distinction with the Dodgers, why Estes surrendered his number 55 to Oral, but he has it back again now that he's here with Colorado. At one time, Sean always wore number 32 in honor of his heroes Sandy Koufax and Steve Carlton. Fastball is just outside to LaDuca, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 ball clubs that have enjoyed a fine July. The Dodgers 18-4, and there's a ground ball to short. Up with it is Royce Clayton, gets it over to Helton for the 2nd out. The Rockies have not had a bad July. They're 14-8. And of course, not having a bad July, how about Adrian Beltre? He is still swinging a potent bat. Led off the 2nd inning with a home run to right field. His 27th home run of the year. And so Beltre got the Dodgers started. Remember, he had a streak. He had 8 consecutive games with an RBI. It was broken yesterday. Now he's just picked up where he left off tonight. So Adrian waiting at the plate. Boy, he is linked with Albert Pujols. That really shows you his stature in the league now. And he takes way off the plate. Ball 1. 1-0. So Adrian Beltre at 25 has really opened up some eyes. Most people knew he had the ability, but they were very impatient with him. And Beltre fouls it off in the count 1-1. And I think we've learned and said it enough over the years. One of the most important ingredients in baseball, certainly for a general manager and an owner, patience. The 1-1 pitch. Beltre takes off the plate. Ball 2. And the count 2-1. For Beltre, hitting that home run number 28, only 3 back of Todd Zeal's 31. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way. Curveball high. Ball 3. Zeal hit 31 in 1997, the most by a Dodger third baseman. So Adrian is right on his tail. Now the 3-1 pitch, and that's a fastball. This time he hits it off the end of the bat. Fly ball to right field, and Walker slips and can't make the catch, and now they call the catch. Walker slipped and fell for the last out, and Bruce Dreckman, running down the line, looked at first as if he was going to call it no catch. And looking at the replay, when he goes down, you can see the hand pointed, really indicating, I guess he meant fair ball, and then he indicated out. 3-2 Dodgers, bottom of the third inning. Royce Clayton, Todd Helton, and Vinny Castilla. And if anybody gets on, Larry Walker. Clayton struck out in the first inning, takes a high fastball, ball one. Larry Walker shows everybody why he is a 7 Gold Glove winner, making that dazzling catch. The only confusion was by the umpire Bruce Dreckman, because Walker was in fair ground by a good 15 feet. There was no reason to indicate it was a fair ball, so he kind of gave two signs on Beltre, as if it was a catch and as if it were in play, but we finally got it right. Clayton, meanwhile, lips it into right center. A trio of Dodgers. Encarnacion moves over and makes the catch for the out. So we have one down in the third inning. 3-2 in favor of the Dodgers. We know people at this time of night are coming in and out. Beltre homered in the second inning. Then Bradley singled. Then Green doubled over first to score him. And with two out, Ishii singled up the middle to score Green to give the Dodgers a 3-0 lead. But that didn't last long. Larry Walker walked, and Jeremy Burnitz hit a home run. So 3-2 Dodgers, and here is Todd Helton. Helton hits a high drive into deep right field, and that's another no doubt about it. That's gone, and we have a 3-3 tie for Todd Helton as he goes around the bases, his 20th home run. And for Kaz Ishii, a pitcher who has not given up very many home runs, 7 coming into this game, is now given up 2 home runs in 2 1/3 innings. So it is a 3-3 tie. Welcome to Coors Field as Helton drives it out. So we gave you the numbers earlier. These two pitchers get tremendous offensive support, Ishii and Estes, but Ishii has a terrible time here at Coors Field. And the batter is Vinny Castilla, and the fastball off the plate, ball one. Castilla hitting .283, blazing hot player of the week last week, and the Dodgers wouldn't argue with that. The next one swung on and missed, and the count 1-1. So Kaz led 3-0, and almost in a blink of the eye, it's 3-3. His earned run average 8.5 at Coors Field, and you can understand he is basically a curveball pitcher. So this is a nightmare ballpark for him. Slow curveball, stays up, ball 2, 2-1. So this is not the ballpark if you major in curveballs. Kaz nods yes to LaDuca. Now the 2-1 pitch to Vinny Castilla. Fastball popped up, and it'll be his tourist looking out towards Bradley. Bradley jogging in and makes the catch, and that'll be the second out. A reminder, the Dodgers host the Phillies Sunday, August 8th at 1:10. All kids 14 and under in attendance receive a free Dodger lunchbox, compliments of Farmer John. So visit Dodgers.com. Give us a call, 323-2241-HIT. And here is Larry Walker, who made the dazzling catch on the little pop fly hit by Adrian Beltre. Larry hitting .329 and times a curveball and whacks it into right center. Base hit. Encarnacion comes up with it and guns it back in, and Walker after a turn holding. So this is a totally different ball club when you have Walker, Wilson, and Burnitz in the starting lineup. One of the big conversations in this rumor mill called Denver, they say that the Florida Marlins were interested in Steve Finley, but Steve Finley did not want to change positions. He did not want to leave being a center fielder. So now the rumor is the Florida Marlins are going to try and go after Larry Walker. Throw over to first. Larry Walker, as we said, will be 38 in December. He has a severe groin pull, which cut down his chances of playing every day, and still gets the treatment. So it'll be a big gamble, I guess. And meanwhile, Wilson whacks it into the left field corner. Up with it is Worth. Walker jogging into third on a long single by Preston Wilson. The Kazashi really struggling now. He has allowed 3 runs, 5 hits. Jim Colburn going out to try to help him. The Preston Wilson hit a ball down and out of the strike zone. Got it into the corner. Jason Worth, a good job holding Wilson to a single, and Walker stops at third. So another meeting. In the inning, Helton homered. Walker singles with 2 out. Wilson singles, and now Jeremy Burnett, who hit a 2-run home run in the second inning, coming up. For the Rockies, they can explode, of course, especially here. Jeremy Burnett came up and hit it out of sight in the second inning with a man aboard. And without any fuss and feathers, Todd Helton did the same thing. No doubt about it type home run. The Rockies have hit 127 home runs this year, and the Dodgers have hit 112. The runners at first and third, 2 out, and here is Jeremy Burnett batting .295. She leans on his right knee to get a sign, now straightens up, checks the runners, left-hander, very deliberate, works a breaking ball and spins it in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. We told you that Burnett was 1 for 5 with a home run. Now he is 2 for 6 with 2 home runs against Ishii. Burnett's waiting. Another veteran. He's 35 years old. Takes a pitch up and in. I think he was guessing that he was going to get something down and away, and Jeremy almost walked into that. Burnett's like Ryan Klesko, born in Westminster, California, lives in Florida, went to school at Oklahoma State. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ishii ready and back, high and inside, ball 2, and the count 2-1. For Burnett to hit a home run is certainly no news. He's hit at least 30 5 of the last 6 years. The 1 year he didn't do it, he had 19. He had 4 straight years where he hit 30 or more. 38, 33, 31, and 34. 2-1 pitch to Jeremy. He's got 24 home runs this year. Waves at a curveball, and the count 2-2. So Ishii trying to get out of the inning. The curveball out of the strike zone has helped him. The curveball in the strike zone has been hit hard, and deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on in a 3-3 tie. Ishii checks Wilson, who fakes, now back to Burnett inside, turned him around, almost hit him. So most of the pitches have been on top of Burnett, and he's gotten 2 strikes, 1 of them down and away with a curveball. Ishii is certainly not a headhunter. He's only hit 2 batters all year. So with a full count, Wilson will be going from first. Ishii is set, checks, here he comes, way outside and low, almost a wild pitch. Good save by LaDuca, and the bases are loaded. So with 2 out, Charles Johnson, who normally hits Ishii hard in the past, struck out in the second inning. In a 3-3 tie, Johnson batting 8th in the lineup. Jim Colburn doing a little cheerleading. Come on, let's go. And Ishii will pitch out of a stretch with the bases loaded, trying to improve his control. He has walked 3 in his 3 innings. Kaz straightens up. Johnson waiting, hitting .263. Kaz delivers, and it's low. Ball 1 in the dirt. Coming into the game, Johnson hitting .462 against Ishii, including 3 home runs. And you can bet that Kaz is thinking about it. Probably doesn't know he has 3 grand slams. Johnson waiting, 1 ball, no strikes. Walker, Wilson, Burnett's all out on the lines. The 1-0 pitch in the dirt. Another scrambling save by Paul Lo Duca. Kaz has 3 wild pitches this year, and Lo Duca has saved him a couple. But it is now just about a moment of truth for him. I mean, he's got to do it. And Lo Duca going out to the mound. When Kaz had his bad game against Colorado at Dodger Stadium, he went 3 1/3 innings and allowed 6 earned runs. And when he was talking about that performance, he said it wasn't that he didn't have good stuff. He said he was pitching too conservatively. He wasn't going after the hitters. Well, he's given up a home run, 2 singles, and a walk here in the 3rd. Now straightens up, and he has to be aggressive now. The 2-0 fastball is in for a strike, and they count 2-1. So it's that moment, fish or cut bait. 2-1 to Charles Johnson, the big guy out of Fort Pierce, Florida, about 15 miles south of Vero Beach. That's where he was born and raised. He used to come up with his dad and watch the Dodgers play exhibition games. 2-1 pitch, fastball, line to right. Encarnacion started in, goes back to pick it off. So Johnson lines out to right. The Rockies get 1 and leave 3. And at the end of 3, a 3-3 tie. We have a 3-3 tie here at Coors Field as we go to the 4th inning. 3 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Rockies. Home run by Beltre, home run by Helton. Now the Dodgers, having seen a 3-0 lead disappear, now try to get back out in front. Milton Bradley, Sean Green, and Juan Encarnacion. So 30 times this year we've talked about the Dodgers coming from behind. I guess tonight they're going to have to try and come from in front. A strike to Bradley. 0-1. Milton, a single to left in the 2nd inning, came home on Green's double. This time a pop fly into shallow right. Miles out, Walker in. 1 away. The fly ball to right brings up Sean Green, who doubled over the bag in the 2nd inning. Curveball, big, 12-6, dropped it in nicely. 0-1. Estes, not only a solid pitcher and a smart pitcher, he was a smart student. He was a 4.0 student in high school. He had a full scholarship to Stanford, and he turned it down to sign with the Seattle Mariners. Boy, he was a big man on campus in high school. 4-0 in the classroom, and he had 4 no-hitters pitching for the high school team. Fastball just missed. Minden High School in Douglas, Nevada. 1-2. Curveball. He's got a dandy. Doesn't throw hard in the 80s. He has the cutter, changeup, and that wonderful curveball, which is really his strikeout pitch. 1-2. Fastball, comebacker. 2 down in the 4th. Here's our Aflac trivia question. At a mile high, Coors Field has the highest altitude of any Major League Baseball stadium. What stadium do you think is the 2nd highest? The purple line atop the upper deck. If you sit on that purple line, you are exactly 1 mile above sea level. There it is. And there are a couple of folks who decide to sit even higher than that. 2-0 the count to Encarnacion, who grounded to short in the 2nd inning. Something in his eye. Timeout for the moment. Juan could very well, I believe, win the award of being the quietest Dodger. And he drives one to center. Wilson going back to the track at the wall to make the catch. So Encarnacion hits it to the deepest part of the ballpark for a long out. And the Dodgers are done in order. 7 in a row retired by Estes in a 3-3 tie. Remember our Aflac trivia question about the altitude. Coors Field is the highest. What stadium is the second highest? And you're right if you said Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix, 1,100 feet above sea level. Meanwhile, here goes Sean Estes as he bangs his second hit down the left field line and goes steaming into second base with a leadoff double. So Estes had 8 hits this year. Now he has 10. And immediately he presents the Rockies with a tie-breaking run. So he singled to center and doubled to left. The Caz has now allowed 6 hits, 3 runs. Estes at second with Miles, Clayton, and Helton trying to pick him up. Aaron Miles with a 13-game hitting streak. Flied to left, hit a one-hopper to Beltre, who turned it into a force play in the second inning. And he bunts. Beltre will let it go foul. Adrian was trying, I believe, to just jam on the brakes and let the ball play itself, and his feet went out or under him. We have seen Larry Walker slip, and like a good golfer, they replaced the divot. 0-1 the count. I don't know about excessive watering or whatever, but they just pulled the rug right out from Beltre. Walker went down earlier. So for the Dodgers, they get a break. It goes foul. Otherwise, for sure, Estes at third. Miles has 4 sacrifices. You don't usually expect to see a sacrifice here with the leadoff man. 0-1. See if he tries it again. And this time he does not. 1 ball and 1 strike. Greg Gibson, the plate umpire, with Bruce Dreckman, Rob Drake, and Jerry Davis, the crew chief, on the line at third. So Estes at second, nobody out. Bottom of the 4th, a 3-3 tie. 1-1. And another bunt. Beltre this time has to play it in time, and the sacrifice advances Estes to third. So Miles does his job, comes up with his 5th sacrifice. A runner at third, 1 out, and Royce Clayton will be the batter. So Miles, with a 13-game hitting streak, gives himself up under orders. And Royce Clayton has struck out and flied to right. Clayton coming in was 4 for 8 against EC. The infield halfway. Ball 1. More trouble on deck. Todd Helton. Dodgers 3, Rockies 3, bottom of the 4th. Fouled away, 1-1. One of the things about this Rockies ball club, we mentioned it at the start. They're the one team in the West to hold the Dodgers to a standstill. Dodgers and Rockies have split 8. The Rockies have won 2 out of 3. And Clint Hurdle's ball club is just 1 game under 500 within the Western Division. They're going to be a factor before this thing is all said and done. Clint has done a fine job. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Base hit. Estes scores. And it is 4-3 Colorado. The Kansas City not only saw a 3-0 1 lead disappear in a hurry. Now he finds himself behind 4-3. Clayton hit a ball that was certainly out of the strike zone. By bringing in that run, Shawn Estes has now scored 8 runs this year. That's the most by any pitcher in the major leagues. So he gets on and they bring him in. Todd Helton walked in the first inning and homered in the third. Talking about the power of Jeremy Burnett, who has piled up home runs, while Todd Helton is certainly on a string going back to 1999. He had 35, 42, 49, 30, 33, and so far this year he has 20. 2-0. That's a strike. 2-1. So good living in Colorado, yes, but as Jeremy Burnett said, good hitting. Clayton at first, 1 out. Clayton has stolen 6, but he's been caught 4 times. Davy Collins talking to him. Two and 1 the count. And the fastball at the knees. 2-2 the count. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Duaner Sanchez begins to loosen up. And that's going to be sliced foul. Off speed pitch. Drop that thing under 80. 4-3 in favor of Colorado. No score, despite the fact the scoreboard is lopsided. San Francisco, San Diego. 2-2. And a breaking ball hit to left. Worth on his horse picks it off. Nice play by Jason. And back to first goes Clayton. So Helton, a fly ball to left field. And with 2 out, Vinny Castilla coming up. Worth covers a lot of ground out there, 6'5". He's all over the place. And he has a good arm. Vinny Castilla, a fly ball deep to left. He just got under that one. And then fly to center in the 3rd inning. Always a threat to hit one out. He has 21. Curveball for a strike. 0-1. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Rockies. 3 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. We're in the bottom of the 4th. 0-1. Another curveball hit to Beltre. Down to second for the force. That's that. And at the end of 4, 4-3 Rockies. The scoring has gone this way. Adrian Beltre hit his 28th home run to right field in the 2nd inning. Later on, it was Milton Bradley single. Sean Green doubled over first to cash him in as she singled up the middle to score Green, and the Dodgers had a 3-0 lead. It didn't last long. Jeremy Burnett came up and hit his 24th home run with Larry Walker aboard. Then Todd Helton followed that with his 20th home run of the year. And in the 4th inning, Estes doubles, comes home on a single by Clayton, and it's 4-3 Colorado in the 5th inning. Jose Hernandez, Kaz Ishi, and then Cesar Izturis. Again, Shawn Estes. Curveball strike. Hernandez struck out on a fastball back in the 2nd inning. That would be the only strikeout for Estes. 1-1. Kaz waiting on deck. Fastball away. Ball 2. 2-1. high fly ball to dead center. Back goes Preston Wilson to the wall. It's in the trees. Jose Hernandez goes the long way to hit it out for Jose, his 7th home run of the year. And this wild one is tied up 4-4. What a way to start a 4-game series. So Estes gives up the lead, and Hernandez driving that one dead center into the trees and the rocks in center field. And Jose getting the handshakes all around. A strike to Kaz. One of the big problems for the Dodgers right now this week is the schedule. You come up here and you're going to be in a snowstorm of runs usually. Not only exhaust your starting pitchers, but you run your bullpen ragged. Then you leave here and go to San Diego. Ground ball, base hit. So this is some game. The two pitchers have 4 hits between them. And Estes fit to be tied as he walks around following the second hit by Kazashi. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Rockies. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. Nobody out. Now let's see what Cesar does. Fly to right, grounded to second. In a similar situation, remember in the 4th inning, the Rockies had Miles sacrifice, only he was sacrificing a runner to third. That's right. 4-4 in the 5th. And that's hit to right. 3rd time he's gone that way, and he's 0 for 3. 2 fly balls to right, a ground ball to second. So they are pitching his Torres that way. He is going with the pitches. 0 for 3. The She still at first base, and the batter now Jason Worth. Worth flied to center and fouled out. Curveball strike. Worth has unusual power. And you come to a ballpark like this and you kind of let your mind wander and say, if he ever hit a ball right on the button here, he might hit it out of state. 1-1. Seen Raul Mondesi, Mike Piazza hit the ball under the scoreboard. Fouled away. 1-2 now the count to Jason Worth. 4-4 in the 5th. Fastball missed. Tantalizing pitch. 2-2. Fastball whacked into left field, base hit. So the Dodgers come right back with 3 hits in the inning, and they have runners at first and second, and Paul LaDuca coming up. LaDuca flied to right and grounded to short. Four in the 5th. 2 on, 1 out. LaDuca followed by Beltre. Ball 1. Dodgers led 3-0. Rockies tied it. Rockies led 4-3. Dodgers tied it. Foul foul that fastball back, and the count 1-1. Sean Estes, 31-year-old left-hander. He went to a sports psychologist once, working on focus, relaxation exercises, eliminate distractions. All adds up to concentration. Just missed ball two, 2-1. One of the great days in Estes' career was 1949. He not only pitched a shutout for the Giants, but he hit a grand slam home run the same day. 2-1. Check swing. Swing, says Bruce Streckman. And the count 2-2. On deck, Beltre waits. 2 on, 1 out, 5th inning, 4-4. 2-2. Got another foul ball. Plate umpire Greg Gibson immediately calling it. Here comes Clint Hurdle to argue. I'll say one thing. Greg called that thing immediately. He's been a big league umpire for 5 years. Born in Ohio and lives in Kentucky. Went to the University of Kentucky, in fact. Boyish looking umpire. So Hurdle chews his gum and walks back to the dugout. So that was the play, and LaDuca remains at the plate. 2-2 the count. What does Greg do during the offseason? He works in a bank. Well, with a full count, 1 out, and a guy who was a contact hitter, let's see how the Dodgers play this. Do you gamble? Remember, you have Beltre on deck. And just for the extra note, LaDuca has hit into 15 double plays. Runners do not go on ball 4. So the bases are loaded. And Sean Estes will now listen to Bob Apodaca again. And Adrian Beltre, who has gone the other way twice. So apparently Estes, with that 2-seamer to both his Turris and to Beltre, causing him to go the other way. His Turris 0 for 3 with 2 fly balls to right and a ground ball to second. Beltre a home run to right and a fly ball to right. Adrian with 3 grand slams, most recently, remember, the other night against Ismael Valdez in that wild 6-run inning in a game where the Dodgers went on to win 12-2. Prior to the grand slam against Ismael Valdez 4 years ago, July 27th, he hit a grand slam here. See, now he pitched him away and he tried to pull it. 0-1. So he's going to stay out there. Beltre and his Turris are going to have to go that way with it. Bases loaded. LaDuca, Worth, and Ishii. 0-1. And a ground ball down to Helton. He's on the bag for the out. Everybody moves up 90 feet. The Dodgers take a 5-4 lead. So again, if that's the way he's going to pitch you, down and away, you have to go that way. Beltre grounds to first base, picking up a run batted in. His second of the night. LaDuca to second, Worth to third, and back in the dugout, Kaz Ishii with a go-ahead run. So now the batter is Milton Bradley. Single to left and flied to right. Even though Sean Green, left-hand hitter on deck, they'll pitch to Bradley. Foul ball out of play, 0-1. It's a matter of perception, I guess, as well as numbers. Bradley has 3 hits in only 19 at bats. Sean Green 1 for 2 tonight. He has 6 hits in 32 at bats. Oh and 1 to Milton Bradley. 5-4 Dodgers, top of the 5th. Jason Worth at third. Paul LaDuca at second. And a fly ball into shallow left center. A trio. It's going to land. And then for good measure, it's kicked by Burnett, scoring both LaDuca and Worth. And the Dodgers take a 7-4 lead. Well, I'll tell you one thing. The ball should have been caught. But remember one thing about this ballpark. The outfielders play very deep. Wilson slowed up and Burnett just didn't get there and then kicked it on the run. So Bradley will take it. A pop fly single to left and 2 runs batted in. So the Dodgers lead 7-4. And here's Sean Green. So the Dodgers in the inning have had 4 hits and a walk. Green doubled and hit back to the box. Ball 1. So it all started with Jose Hernandez hitting one into the trees in center field. 1-0 the count to Green. Bradley drawing a throw. Though Beltre has 2 RBIs, Bradley just picked up 2. Green has 1. Hernandez has 1. And Kazushi has 1. Look out. Boy, that hit something. I'm not sure if it was the helmet or the bat. Stan Johnson talking to Sean. Jim Tracy's coming out. I have a feeling it hit the bat. You could hear it up here. And sure enough, whoa, was that close. It hit the bat and sent it spinning. Another angle. So close. Whoa. And standing at first base, Milton Bradley looking down at Green and no doubt saying, I know all about it. All right, 1 ball and 1 strike to count. For Estes, this is his toughest inning so far tonight. He had a 21 pitch inning in the 2nd inning. This will be his 29th pitch in this inning. 1-1 to Green. Curveball. You could almost bet the house that after a fastball up and in, he was going to come back breaking ball. 1-2 to Green. Seven runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, 4 runs, 7 hits for the Rockies. What a way to start game 1 of a 4-game series. Look out, curveball to move him out of there. 2-2. So Estes now ready to make his 30th pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 4 runs in here in the 5th. And the Dodgers leading 7-4. Ball 3. So with a full count and 2 down, Helton comes off the bag. Bradley will be going on the pitch. Runner goes, curveball, slow curve. That thing was 73 miles an hour, and Green was out in front of it and just slowed up the bat speed to get a little bit. Fouled it off. Three and 2 to Sean. Adrian Beltre and the rest of the Dodgers had a 3-0 lead get away, but now they have bounced back to lead by 3-7-4. And a 3-2 pitch to Green. Foul tipped and held by Charles Johnson. So Green strikes out, but the Dodgers get 4. And at the end of 4.5 innings, lead the Rockies 7-4. Bottom of the 5th inning, 7-4 Dodgers, and Larry Walker, Preston Wilson, and Jeremy Burnett's coming up. Fastball strike, 0-1. Walker has walked and singled, 1 for 1. Didn't play baseball in high school, not at all. 0-2. He dreamed of one day playing a goalie in the National Hockey League. Well, after all, he's from Maple Ridge, British Columbia in Canada. They say that when he finally was signed, he went to his first spring training and had no idea how to play. But he was such a natural player. But he had to know the rules. Boy, has he come a long way. Oh, and 2 the count. When Walker did not have a baseball team, so in the summertime he played in a fast pitch softball league with his 3 brothers and his father. And at 16 he was the most valuable player of the league. Foul back. Larry loves to ride a motorcycle. You would think he would give it up, though, because his best friend was killed in a motorcycle accident. Well, he's got a huge hog, I think they call it, parked here in the ballpark. 2-2 the count. Larry Walker, boy, what a franchise player. A 5-tool player. He has 7 Gold Gloves. The MVP 7 years ago. Look at those numbers. And here he is coming up 38 in December. Signed as a free agent by the Montreal Expos. Slow curveball. And that's banged to right. And that'll be an extra base hit for Walker. Encarnacion can't get it right away. And Larry is on his way to third with a stand-up triple, his 2nd of the year. So a big, slow curveball. He had plenty of time to time it. It was clocked at 73. You can't tell that on TV, but it was just a rainbow. And Walker straightens it out. The ball rattled around down in the corner. It did not come back to Encarnacion. So it's a leadoff triple for Walker. And now Wilson and Burnett's trying to bring him in. Yes, Virginia, we're in Colorado. It's 7-4 Dodgers, and we're only in the 5th inning. Ground ball up the middle. That, I think, was a straight changeup. So after a slow curve that was hit for a triple, a straight change hit for a single, and the Rockies have come back. It's now 7-5. Wilson grounds it up the middle, and Jim Colburn is spending a night going to the mound. The totals are rather interesting. The Dodgers have 7 runs on 8 hits, and the Rockies have 5 runs on 9 hits. Duaner Sanchez is up for the 2nd time in the Dodger bullpen. Alan Simpson, a right-hander, is now up, and loosening up in the Rockies pen. And Jeremy Burnett's coming up. Jeremy Burnett hit his 24th home run of the year with Walker aboard in the second inning and walked in the third. Curveball. Burnett's mad at himself for going after it. 0-1. Seven 5 Dodgers, fifth inning. 0-1. Fastball hit into center, base hit, and Wilson, with the outfield is deep, will take the extra base. There is so much territory to cover here. You have to play deeper. That was one reason why Bradley's pop fly fell in. That was good for 2 runs. And because you are so deep, base runners take the extra base. So now Jim Colburn going up to the mound for a second time. Duana Sanchez in the pen will be brought in. I'm trying to remember. In fact, I don't remember the last time Jim Colburn went to the mound to replace a pitcher. So Duana Sanchez will be coming in. We're in the fifth inning of a wild ball game. Dodgers 7, Rockies 5. Will be 7-5 Dodgers in the fifth inning in the nightmare park that is Coors Field. As far as home runs, Adrian Beltre hit his 28th to right field in the second inning. Later on, Jeremy Burnett's countered with his 24th to right field. Then Kazashi gave up the 20th home run of the year hit by Todd Helton. And finally, Jose Hernandez hit his 7th. A meeting of the 4 umpires on the mound as Kaz sits back, and let's see what's going on here. They want to look at Duana Sanchez's cap. I'm not sure if there's some kind of substance on the cap or not. We can't tell from here. Jerry Davis, the broad-shouldered one just on the left with his back to you, he is the crew chief. I'm not even sure which of the 4 umpires called the hat to attention. Jerry Davis is now going over to talk to Clint Hurdle. Sanchez with a grin on his face. We're looking at the cap. Doesn't seem outside of rosin. Nothing else. Sanchez last pitched against the Padres the other night. And just looking to go back through the books, he did pitch briefly against the Rockies in the Ishii game at Dodger Stadium when the Rockies won at 6-5. So if they saw anything they didn't like out of that game, they were looking for it tonight, but it proved fruitless. 1 ball and no strikes to Charles Johnson. First and third, nobody out. 7-5 Dodgers, and we're in the 5th. Jose Lima hollering out of the Dodger dugout, and for a moment I think it might have even distracted Sanchez. Looked like a slider for a strike. 1-1. Johnson has struck out and lined out to right with the bases loaded in the third inning. Fastball. 2-1. After Johnson would be Estes, but Todd Green, a catcher, is out on deck to bat for him. So both starting pitchers are gone in the wreckage, and we're only in the 5th. Fastball hit to right field. Encarnacion for the catch. Preston Wilson tags and scores, and that makes it 7-6 Dodgers. So Johnson picks up an RBI. That run is charged to Kaz, and Jeremy Burnett at first base also belongs to Ishii. And here now is Todd Green. The catcher hitting .267. He has 7 home runs, 26 runs batted in. He started against the Dodgers and Odalis Perez and was 1 for 3. So Todd Green with Burnett at first, 1 out, 5th inning, 7-6 Dodgers. And a fly ball to left. That's Jason Worth to handle it, and Burnett goes back to first. So Green didn't hang around. First ball swinging, 2 down, and Aaron Miles coming up. Aaron Miles flied to left, hit into a force play, and sacrificed. 13-game hitting streak on the line, and he has Burnett at first with 2 out, and the Dodgers leading by 1. No lead is safe, that's for sure. Dodgers led 3-0. Rockies battled back to tie. Rockies led 4-3. Dodgers not only came back to tie, went on to lead 7-4, and the Rockies have come back now to trail 7-6. Ball 1. Jeremy Burnett has stolen 3, but he's been caught 5 times. Held on by Green. So a triple and 2 singles and a scoring fly ball, netting the Rockies 2. One ball and no strikes. Ball 2. Well, they finally changed the scoreboard. They have it right now. San Francisco at San Diego. No score in the 3rd inning. Kirk Reeder and Jake Peavy. 2-0 to Miles. And a little ground ball to Hernandez. And that's it. But the Rockies get 2, and at the end of 5, it's 7-6 Rockies. In 1948, on this night, the Babe Ruth story premiered in New York, and Babe Ruth went to the showing. It was his final public appearance. He passed away 3 weeks later. We bring it up just to give you an idea of how great a player was Babe Ruth. He not only had 714 home runs, he not only had a career batting average of .342. As a pitcher, he was 94-46 with an earned run average of 2.2. The Babe. Let's go back to this one. Alan Simpson makes his first pitch outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Juan Encarnacion. So both starting pitchers have gone to the clubhouse. Neither pitcher could win. She has nothing to do with it. Estes could lose. Dodgers had 7 runs and 8 hits against Estes. So Sean fails, at least now, in his big effort to be the first Colorado pitcher to beat the Dodgers 4 times in a single season. 1 away as Encarnacion pops it up to Miles. Alan Simpson, out of the bullpen, will now go to work on Jose Hernandez. Alan Simpson lives in Las Vegas, but he went to Taft High School in Van Nuys. Fastball, ball 1. Ideal size for a pitcher. He is 6'4", 185 pounds, and he'll be 27 late in August. Jose Hernandez struck out in the second inning and hit one in the trees in center field for his 7th home run of the year. Foul back. Allen was born in Springfield, Illinois. And we said he went to Taft, but it was Taft Junior College. He went to Cheyenne High School. So Larry Allen Simpson. That's ball 4. So Hernandez draws the walk with 1 out in the 6th. Dodgers leading 7-6. And the batter will be Duaner Sanchez. And of course, the Rockies look bunt. Simpson throws hard. He's been clocked as high as 98 with his fastball. And he has a slider and a changeup. And the bunt, and a good one. Simpson slipped and made the play, but his foot went out from under him. So that infield grass is thick and apparently wet and somewhat treacherous. Remember, we saw Beltre go down, and as Simpson comes over to get the ball, you'll see his foot kind of skid on the grass right there, and then he was still able to get it in time to Miles. So Sanchez sacrifices. Hernandez at second, and the batter Cesar Izturis. 0 for 3 batting right-handed against Estes, so now he'll turn it around, hitting .299. That's right. Alan Simpson got a scare last year. Here's a young pitcher, big and strong, and he was diagnosed with lupus, a chronic inflammation that could be fatal. But then further testing showed that he had a circulatory problem in his right index finger. Doctors blamed it on his overuse of a split-fingered fastball, which he no longer throws. So he's fastball, slider, changeup. There's the changeup. 3-1 to count. Dodgers 7, Rockies 6, top of the 6th. Fastball, but a hopper to short. Royce Clayton. So the Dodgers leave a man. No runs, no hits, a walk, and a man left at the end of 5.5. 7-6 Dodgers, bottom of the 6th inning. And it'll be Royce Clayton, Todd Helton, and Vinny Castilla in that order. Royce Clayton struck out, flied to right, single to center to drive in a run when Estes had doubled back in the 4th inning. Royce, way back when, a #1 draft pick by the Giants. A chopper smothered by Green, underhands to Sanchez, 1 away. Nice play. So Green alertly smothering the ball, and Sanchez didn't waste any time getting off the mound, and he was there in time to take the field. So a good heads-up play at both ends by Sean and by Duaner. And the batter now, Todd Helton, who walked, homered, and flied to left. Ball 1. Helton putting up big numbers as usual, batting .338. Hit his 20th home run in the 3rd inning. Chopper foul. 1-1. Helton has hit .349 against right-hand pitching this year and .309 against left-handers. And a fly ball to left field and deep. Back goes Worth to the wall to make the catch. So Heldon just misses, hitting it out the other way. So be sure to join us tonight at 10 for highlights of all of today's sports action. We'll present the Southern California Sports Report. Complete Dodger coverage and a lot more. The Southern California Sports Report, that'll be tonight at 10. 2 down here in the 6th, and Vinny Castilla fly deep to left, fly to center, hit into a force play. 0 for 3, batting .281. To the screen, ball 1. Vinny hitting .329 this year against left-handers, .269 against right-handers. Player of the week. Last week he had .323, had 5 home runs, 9 runs batted in, hit a couple of them against the Dodgers. And drives one to deep center. Bradley's just going to watch that one go in the trees. And we're tied at 7. So Vinny Castilla hits his 22nd home run of the year, and we have a 7-7 tie as Larry Walker takes in the dirt. So the Rockies have 3 home runs and a triple, and the Dodgers have 2 home runs. And boy, was that thing killed. All Bradley wanted to do is see just how far out it was going to go. That far out into the waterfall. And that's a fly ball. However, Bradley was so deep, he now comes in to get it. He was still out by the waterfall. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 swing of the bat by Vinny Castilla, and they're tied at 7. Vinny Castilla hits one 447 feet, and it ties up the game 7-7. That's a strike to Jason Worth, followed by Paul LaDuca and then Adrian Beltre. No pitch. 0-1 to count. So Beltre hit his 28th. Hernandez hit his 7th. Burnitz hit his 24th. Helton hit his 20th. And Castilla hits his 22nd. That little waterfall in center field, when the ball made a splash, the waterfall exactly 447 from home plate. 2-1 to count. There it is. So he got his ball wet, but it pays off in baseball. Vinny Castilla. Ball 3. When I get my ball well, it's dropping 3, hitting 4. Line drive by Jason Worth. Hard single to left field. Here's the Vinny Castilla home run. Take another look. A mile high. Bradley said, oh my, let's just see where it's going. Splash. And there it is. Don't need a ball retriever. It'll stay there till after the game. What a bomb that was. So now Paul LaDuca. Fly to right, grounded to short, walk, scored a run. That's a strike. 0-1. Dodgers have not seen Alan Simpson before. This is their first look. 0-2. Down in the bullpen, Tim Hurricola begins to warm up. Oh and 2. Ball 1. Dodgers beat Hurricola at Dodger Stadium. And he's throwing back at Simpson. Earlier in the year, the Dodgers saw Joe Kennedy, but he's banged up. So is Denny Stark. So a couple of the younger pitchers have been called up. Alan Simpson, Tim Hurricola, and they picked up Jamie Wright, who was first a Colorado Rocky back in 1993. 1 and 2 to Paul. 2 and 2. On deck, Adrian Beltre. So the game is pretty much going the way you'd expect. 5 home runs. We've already had 20 hits, and it's 7-7. We're in the 7th inning. Hard, fair ball over third, down the line. Over to get the ball is Burnett. They're going to send Worth in. The relay by Clayton to the plate is not in time. That gets away, but it's backed up by Simpson, and holding at second is LaDuca, and the Dodgers take an 8-7 lead. So LaDuca doubles inside third, scoring Jason Worth. So it is 8-7 Dodgers. Glenn Hoffman waving Worth in, and then when the throw got away, it looked like LaDuca had an extra base, but Alan Simpson alertly backing up. Eight runs on 10 hits for the Dodgers. Here's Beltre. Fouled right into Charles Johnson's mask. 0-1. No balls, 1 strike to Adrian. Hit his 28th home run in the 2nd inning. Lost a pop fly base hit on a diving catch by Larry Walker. In the dirt, gets away, and over to third goes LaDuca on the wild pitch. So LaDuca at third, nobody out. 1-1 to count to Adrian Beltre. Adrian hitting .328. Infield halfway. Fouled away. 1-2, and it looked like Beltre was trying to take that fastball and go the other way with it. So 1-2 the count. Milton Bradley on deck. Going the other way again. 1-2. Adrian with 2 RBIs tonight. So he has 28 home runs, 73 runs batted in. And another foul ball. Interesting, there is so much land in the outfield here. The on deck hitter is almost in his own dugout. Little ground ball. LaDuca has to hold. Beltre been trying to go that way with 2 strikes, but hit it to the second baseman. Say, friends, you know, your guests can be treated to baseball on an entirely new level in a Dodger Stadium suite. Suites can accommodate anywhere from 15 to 80 people. Impeccable service, gourmet food in a unique setting. So for available dates and more information, give us a call. Foul ball. 323-224-1320. That's the ticket. Yeah, with all the room in the outfield, if you stand in the designated on-deck circle, you're 1 step out of the dugout. And that's going to go hooking down the line. Fair ball off the wall. Bradley on his way into second with a double, and LaDuca scores, and the Dodgers lead 9-7. So a single and then doubles by LaDuca and Bradley. That thing was almost in the dirt. Wow. And Clint Hurdle said, okay, that's enough. So Alan Simpson will be coming out. Tim Hurricola has been down in the bullpen, and Hurricola will be called in. And we'll use the time. It's 9-7 Dodgers. We'll Well, if you're a pitcher, obviously the game has gone to the dogs. It is called pause in the park. And we have quite a few dogs here tonight. It's 9-7 Dodgers in the 7th inning. Sean Green facing Tim Hurricola, whom we saw in Los Angeles. Green tonight doubled, hit back to the box, and then almost got hit in the head and struck out when Sean Estes was pitching. Fouled away. Tim Hurricola, 6'2", 185. With a name like Hurricola, you would figure maybe he was born out of the country, but no. West Palm Beach, Florida. Lives in Lake Worth. Just celebrated his 33rd birthday. Over the top fastball. 1-2. Hurricola has been around a long time. Originally drafted by the Mariners in '92. He went to Florida Atlantic University, and he has spent the bulk of his professional career in the minor leagues. Fouled away. I mean, Bellingham, Appleton, Riverside, Jacksonville, Tacoma, Memphis, Orlando, Pawtucket, Huntsville, Indianapolis, Waxahachie, Ottawa, Colorado Springs. You really got to love it. 2-2. Sean batting .262, trying to pick up Bradley. 9-7 Dodgers. And one hopper out on the grass, knocked down by Miles. A throw just in time. On the play, Bradley takes third. So Sean Green just called out at first on the close play. Second out in the inning. Hurricola over there. The ball got by Helton. Miles knocked it down and then got it to his pitcher. So 2 out. Bradley is at third, and the batter is Juan Encarnacion. Encarnacion is grounded to short, fly deep to center, and popped up. Foul back. 0-1. 9 runs, 11 hits for the Dodgers. 7 runs, 11 hits for the Rockies, and we're in the 7th. The Dodgers scored 3 in the 2nd, 4 in the 5th, and 2 here in the 7th. And the Rockies have scored in every inning but the 1st. Ground ball, nice stop by Vinny, and on his knee, got him at first. So the Dodgers lose an extra run on 2 good defensive plays by Miles and Castilla. They score 2, and at the end of 6.5, lead 9-7 Dodgers, bottom of the 7th inning, and Darren Driver now is tossed into the mix. Estes, Simpson, and Hurricola, and Ishii, Sanchez, and Driver. Can't say it's exactly a typical game here, but you certainly come here expecting to see a lot of runs. And here's Preston Wilson. Ball 1. Steve Reed and Adam Bernero loosening up They get down to the pitcher spot. They'll bat for Hurricola. 2-0 the count. Darren Drivert brought in. When you look at Coors Field, you can see runs per game here, almost 14 a game. Americast in Texas over 11, and then Fenway over 11. But Coors Field, it's a jackpot, a hair from 14 runs a game. Tonight we have 16, but we have a long way to go. Down the line, foul, out of play. Darren Drivert is 1-1. Oh, there's a nice game. Wow. Montreal 19 and the Mets 10. Whoa. Florida beat Philadelphia 11-3. St. Louis beat Cincinnati 9-6. So there's been a lot of scoring. Fly ball to right, Encarnacion coming over near the line. So one away in the 7th inning. Jeremy Burnett's coming up. Hit his 24th home run of the year in the 2nd inning with a man aboard. Then he walked in the 3rd and singled to drive in Walker, who had tripled. So he's been busy. Burnett's hitting .297, ball 1. When the Dodgers bat in the 8th inning, they'll have Hernandez, and then it would be Dreifert's spot. Two and 0. Dreifert behind 3-0. Darren's strikeout to walk ratio 2-1. And way outside. So Burnett gets the treatment and goes to first. Tonight, get ready for the next great thing in sports entertainment. Max Kellerman comes to Fox Sports Net. IMAX tonight at 10:30 only on FSN West 2. Or just West. All right. Ball 1 to Charles Johnson. Johnson has struck out, lined out, and he's had a scoring fly ball. And that got away from LaDuca. I would assume that's a pass ball. And taking second, Jeremy Burnett. Will wait for the scoring, but it looked like LaDuca had the whole mitt on it. It was up there and went right off the glove. And maybe, just maybe, Paul might have been a little crossed up, because the next thing he does is go out to the mound to talk to Driver. So Burnett's at second with 1 out and a 2-0 count to Charles Johnson. And looking at Dreifert against Colorado, Johnson is 2 for 5. Burnett was 0 for 10, and yet he walked him on 4 pitches. 2-0. Strike. 2-1. Johnson batting .262. 1 out, 7th inning, 9-7 Dodgers. 2-2 the count. Dreifert hits 86 with the slider. Burnett's at second base. $16 runs, 22 hits, and 5 home runs so far. Foul back. And for good measure, we can throw in a triple. Larry Walker had that. The Dodgers also have doubles by Bradley and LaDuca, plus Green. Two and two. So Driver now with one out, a runner at second, and he goes all the way with Johnson. Mark Sweeney coming out on deck. Sweeney has become a potent part of Colorado's attack. He has 13 RBIs coming off the bench, leading the major leagues. 3-2 the count to Johnson. Little slider, slow chopper. Beltre has time with Johnson to get him, but over to third alertly goes Burnitz, and he's in there. Cesar Torres covering, but Jeremy was able to get over. So Johnson grounds out, Burnitz advancing, and Mark Sweeney coming up. With his 13 RBIs to lead the majors, the man from Framingham, Massachusetts, by the name of Mark Sweeney coming up. With Beltre having to field that ground ball, the chances were Burnitz is going to beat his Torres to the bag. Now they're going to talk about how to pitch to Sweeney. Mark is 6'1", 215 pounds. He was originally selected by the Angels back in June of 1991 out of the University of Maine. Sweeney, born in Framingham, Massachusetts, lives over in Scottsdale, and he's bounced around a lot. First came up with the Cardinals for a couple of years, then the Padres, the Reds, and the Brewers, Padres again, and now with the Rockies. And there he is, 13 RBIs as a pinch hitter. He has a degree in marketing, and he's learned how to sell himself with those RBIs. And a good save by LaDuca on that pitch. Ball one. Dreifert, by the way, has 4 wild pitches. So 2 out, a runner at third. Dodgers lead 9-7. That's going to be a strike. Sweeney has had 6 at-bats in the past against Dreifert, and he is 3 for 6 with a home run. So he is a major threat now. 1-1 the count to Mark. And fouled away, out of play. 1-2. We're in the bottom of the 7th. 9-7 Dodgers. Dodgers led 3-0. Rockies led 4-3. Dodgers led 7-4. Then it got to be 7-7. Now the Dodgers lead 9-7, and the Rockies are trying to get back on the board again. 1-2 to Mark Sweeney. 2-2. Sweeney went from the Padres. Well, went from the Cardinals to the Padres in a deal that involved, among others, Fernando Valenzuela. Time. Half of Sweeney's at-bats, just about half, as a pinch hitter. 10 hits, 1 home run, and the 13 ribbies. Ball 3. Tom Martin gets up in the Dodger bullpen. On deck is Aaron Miles, a left-hand batter. So a big pitch, 3-2. And it is ball 4. So Sweeney wins the battle, and he goes to first. And here comes Aaron Miles, and let's see about Martin in the pen. Would they bring him in now? Martin has not been effective. And Tracy, from the looks of things, will stay with Driver. Aaron Miles has a 13-game hitting streak. He is 0 for 3 with a sacrifice. Ball one. And of course at 5'8", he brings up that small strike zone. One ball and no strikes. Runners at the corners with 2 out. And ball 2. So Darren Drivert struggling. Walked Burnitz on 4 pitches. Dueled Sweeney 3 and 2 and walked him. And with 2 out, he's now behind to Miles. 2 balls and no strikes. And a fly ball to shallow left. Worth is there. And Drivert and the Dodgers are out of the jam. No runs, no hits, 2 left. And at the end of 7, 9-7 in favor of the Dodgers certainly would assume to be the favorite in the last 2 innings. Not only are they leading 9-7, but the Dodger bullpen best in the National League. The Rockies bullpen is the worst. Of course, games are not decided on paper, but when you have a difference of almost 3 earned runs in the bullpens, you would think that the Dodgers would be able to hold on to it. We will see as Guillermo Mota prepares to pick up for Dreyfurt, and Adam Bernero comes out of the bullpen for the Rockies. Bernero is from Los Gatos and lives in Elk Grove, California, originally signed by the Tigers. He'll be 28 years old the end of November, and he'll be pitching to Jose Hernandez, then Jason Grabowski. So Grabowski is out on deck. He will bat for Dreyfurt, and Mota will pitch the bottom of the 8th. Popped up into shallow left center. Burnitz looking over at Wilson, and now Wilson finally comes in to get it. So Hernandez, who hit one in the trees about 430 feet, he had Preston Wilson so deep. So a fly ball. Now Grabowski is called away, and Dave Roberts will come up and bat. And Grabowski, I do not believe, had been announced. I didn't hear the name, so I assume Roberts is batting for Dreyfurt and not for Grabowski. Dave Roberts has been bothered by a sore neck. Off the bench now. 1 out, 8th inning, 9-7 Dodgers. Rockies played the Dodgers tough. They split the 8 meetings prior to tonight. Ball 1. For Adam Bernero, he actually signed his first pro contract on a napkin at Denny's restaurant. Ball 2. That's all the scout had with him. So they wrote down on the napkin he signed it, and that was that. Growing up near Sacramento, he was always a big Giants fan and spent a lot of time going to Candlestick Park. That's a strike. 2-1. It's been Estes, Simpson, Halicala, and Bernero. Ishii, Sanchez, and Dreyfurt for the Dodgers. Fastball, ball 3. Dave hitting .248. 3-1. And he is aboard. So that'll put a little more heat on Bernero as Roberts goes to first. Remember, he has stolen 31 out of 32. Cesar Izturis twice flied to right and grounded out to second against Estes, and then hitting left-handed, grounded out to short in the 6th inning against Simpson. So he tried to go the other way, and he is 0 for 4. Meanwhile, Roberts takes a good lead And it's the same old story. He doesn't really know Bernero, so somehow or other he wants to see the best move that Bernero has without being picked off. Well, he came close to seeing his best move. Charles Johnson, a good catcher with a fine, accurate arm behind the plate. So this is another battle within the war. 1 ball and no strikes to Izturis. Vinny Castilla about even with the bag at third. And there goes Roberts. The pitch, a strike. The throw, he is in there. The throw was on the left side of the bag, and Dave was able to reach it with his left hand. So he's now stolen 32 out of 33. And Dave, along with the Dodger Dream Foundation, donating $500 in baseball and softball equipment to Arroyo High School in El Monte. There goes the left hand, and the tag was missed anyway by Clayton. 1-1. Off speed. 1-2. Pretty good off speed pitch. 79, and there goes another chip bat. Boy, all you can hope is they're not putting that kind of wood in houses. We have seen the worst bats. 1-2 the count. Oh, you can turn it around and put it the other way. The pitching has been so magnificent. The pitchers are breaking all these bats. 1-2. Oh. Royce Clayton never moved. All he did was blow a big bubble with his bubble gum. 1-2. Boy, that was a whopper. And a ground ball to Clayton on his knees, so he can't go after Roberts. So as Izturis grounds out, Roberts takes third. And the batter now will be Jason Worth. Nine runs, 11 hits for the Dodgers, 7 runs, 11 hits for the Rockies. Royce Clayton, Todd Helton, and Vinny Castilla, and if anybody gets on, Larry Walker. They're all due up in the 8th, and Guillermo Mota is tuning up for them. Jason Worth flied to center, fouled out to first, twice single to left. Ball 1. Bernero, who has worked 16 previous innings, does not have a wild pitch. We always look that up with a runner at third. 1-0. 1-1. Ball 2. 2-1 to Jason Worth. On deck, Paul LaDuca. And a little pop-up, Helton calling. So the Dodgers leave Roberts at third as Worth pops up, and at the end of 7.5, 9-7. Dodgers trying to hold on to a 9-7 lead, and in the bottom of the 8th inning, Alex Cora will take over for Jose Hernandez at second base, and Guillermo Mota, who's been down in the pen, will pick up and be the 4th Dodger pitcher. And of course, as we've said several times tonight, that is the big problem about coming here, where you burn up your bullpen. This is only game 1 of a 4-game series, and then a disheveled and beaten up bullpen will then be going to San Diego. San Diego and the Giants are tied up 2-2. Khalil Green hit a 2-run home run. JT Snow singled in a run. AJ Przinsky, the catcher, singled in a run, and the Giants have tied it up. So here is Royce Clayton. Right. Clayton has struck out, flied to right, singled to center, and grounded out. And going up against Mota, he is 0 for 2. Batting .287. A bunt foul, and the count 0-2. So Guillermo Mota, as usual, coming in to pitch the 8th inning. He is 8-3, an earned run average of 2. The opposition is hitting .229 against him, and the strikeout to walk ratio is 2-1. 0-2 to Royce Clayton. Ball 1. Down he goes. So Clayton, who has done very, very well against left-hand pitching, but a big fall off against right-handers, and 1 away. Now here's the Dodger record. It's a tribute to the bullpen. When they are leading after 7, you might say they are a lock, but I don't think there is a lock. Eric Gagne withstanding, not here at Coors. Cardinals and Pittsburgh back of him. So the Dodger bullpen, the only ones to prevent a game from going down the drain. Helton fouling that fastball at 95 upstairs, 0-1. Todd Helton tonight walked in the first inning, hit his 20th home run of the year in the 3rd, and twice flied to left. The second time just missed hitting it out. Jason Worth caught it right at the left field fence. So Todd, especially in this ballpark, has a lot of power in all fields. The old quarterback from the University of Tennessee, who has certainly found a home and a great livelihood playing baseball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Foul ball. Of course, when he walked away from playing quarterback, the guy who took over has found a great career, Peyton Manning. And nice catch by an apparent Dodger fan. 1-2 to Todd Helton. And punched on the ground to his turf. 2 down here in the 8th inning. The paid attendance tonight, 24,725. The Rockies averaging about 30,000 a game, but Monday Night Blues, after a good road trip, they won 4 out of 5. So 2 down in the 8th inning, and Vinny Castilla coming up. Flied to left, flied to center, hit into a force play, and hit his 22nd home run of the year in the 6th inning. 447 feet away into the water back of the center field fence. A little waterfall. 0-1 to Vinny, hitting .283. 1 ball and 1 strike. Castillo with Walker aboard. So a couple of veteran hitters, quite a challenge for Guillermo Mota. 1-1. 1-2. Castillo 2 for 5 against Mota in the past. And just to give you something to think about, Walker on deck is 1 for 3. 2 out, 8th inning, 9-7 Dodgers. Foul back. In the Dodger bullpen, as usual, getting ready for the 9th inning, Eric Gagne. One and two. Fouled away. If you're Gagne down in the bullpen, thinking if Mota gets Castilla, then all he's doing down there is getting ready to pitch to Larry Walker, Preston Wilson, and Jeremy Burnitz. That's all. 1 and 2 to Vinny. 2 out in the 8th. And a fly ball to center. Bradley says he'll take care of it. So Mota has done his job. He has set it up. And Gagne will indeed be facing Walker, Wilson, and Burnitz. We head to the 9th. 9-7 Dodgers. Sports report tonight at 10. 9th inning, and it'll be LaDuca, Beltre, and Bradley. Fly ball to right. Walker goes back. A little room, and now it's off the board. I think maybe Larry could have caught that ball, but LaDuca has a double. I think if Walker went back to where that ball hit on the wall, he could have caught it. But he made the judgment at the last minute, figured, well, I better play it off the wall. But watch where it hits on that post. Right there. I think he could have reached up and caught it. But with 7 Gold Gloves, who's going to argue with him? Certainly not LaDuca, who comes up with his second double. Nobody out. Beltre, Bradley, and Green now trying to pick him up. Dodgers 12 hits to go with their 9 runs. Ground ball to Castilla. So Beltre taps out. Adrian with 2 RBIs tonight, with a home run and a ground ball. Winds up going 1 for 5. LaDuca still at second, and Milton Bradley with Sean Green on deck. Bradley 2 singles and a double. Milton batting .288. Strike. Estes, Simpson, Haricola, and Bernero. The Dodgers with Ishii, Sanchez, Dreifert, Mota, and soon Gagne. Change. 1-1. And another. That's 2 change-ups in a row, and the count 2-1. And the fastball missed. So now he's behind 3-1. Way off the plate. So Bradley draws the walk. LaDuca standing at second, and with 1 out, Sean Green. Green 1 for 3 in the past against Bernero. Sean tonight double to right to drive in a run, hit back to the box, struck out, and grounded out. That's a strike. 0-1. Eric Gagne still throwing in the bullpen. It would seem like he's been warming up a while. Green pops it up. Infield fly rule is called. So 2 down. Green pops to Vinny Castilla. And now the batter Juan Encarnacion, and Gagne has had enough. So Eric getting ready to come in. That is a sizable task he has. Walker, Wilson, and Burnett. Encarnacion and Izturis are the only two without a hit tonight. The starting pitcher, Kazushi, had 2 hits. Izturis is 0 for 5, and Encarnacion 0 for 4. But without them, the Dodgers still have 12 hits and 9 runs. 0-1. Pretty good fastball. Good location. 0-2. Bernero hits 90, not much higher than that. No doubt looks a little quicker after you've seen 1 or 2 of his changeups. Alex Cora on deck. Ground ball wide to third to Castilla. Over to first, so the Dodgers waste a leadoff double, lead 2. And now we head to the bottom of the ninth with Eric Gagne coming in to face Walker, Wilson, and 7 Dodgers. Jose Lima sending along a message to his mother, Betty. And I think he earlier was saying something like, I love you. Anyway, best to his mom. And Eric Gagne doesn't have time. He's got to go to work. And work it should be. Larry Walker is 5 for 13 with a home run against Gagne. Preston Wilson is 1 for 7 against him. And then Charles Johnson is 1 for 3. So that's the challenge. And Gagne about ready to go to work. Eric in his 43rd game, earned run average of 1.5. Foul ball. Those remarkable numbers: 69 strikeouts and 9 walks. Larry Walker has a walk, a single, a triple, and flied out. Walker hitting .380 against right-hand pitching. Ball 2. Gagne picked up a victory against San Diego, but as far as saves are concerned, he has converted 28 out of 29, and he has 135 career saves. Foul back. 2-2 to Larry Walker. Nine runs, 12 hits for the Dodgers, including home runs by Beltre and Hernandez. 7 runs, 11 hits for the Rockies. Home runs Burnett, Helton, and Castilla. 2-2. Fouled away. Meanwhile, it's still 2-2 Giants in San Diego. 6th inning. Off-speed pitch, and Larry Walker way out in front of it. 70 strikeouts for Eric Gagne. And just the bottom drops out. 70 strikeouts in 46 innings. In fact, going over his last 9 games now, he has struck out 20 without a walk. 0-1 to Wilson. Wilson flied to right, twice single to center, flied to right again, 2 for 4. Slow curveball for a strike. Oh, 71-mile-an-hour curveball. No balls and 2 strikes. Now what are you going to get? That big floater just dipped in. Fastball hits him. And Preston Wilson drilled by the pitch. Gagne furious at himself. For Gagne, that would be the 4th man he has hit. And of course, the last thing he wanted to do in a 2-run lead is hit a guy 0-2. And he got Wilson on the left elbow, I believe. The Clint Hurdle and the Colorado trainer are out there to see if Preston is all right. And he apparently is. So, of course, what that does, Jeremy Burnett's coming up, has a chance to get the Rockies even. Burnett's against Gagne 0-2. All right, Wilson at first, 1 out. And here's Jeremy. He hit his 24th home run in the 2nd inning, walked in the 3rd, singled in the 5th, and walked again in the 7th. So he's bidding for a perfect night. Ball 1. So Burnett's on base 4 times, 2 for 2, batting .297. Ball 2. You might wonder, we'll answer the question. Gagne is indeed human. He has allowed 4 home runs, and that would be on everybody's mind here when he faces Burnett. Two 2-0. There goes Wilson. Big curveball off speed. 2-1. So Wilson steals second. Colburn, Riggleman, eyes riveted, and Burnett's now with a chance to pick Wilson up. 2-1. Ball 3. Charles Johnson waiting on deck, and Matt Holliday has come out on deck to stand behind Charles Johnson. 3-1 to Jeremy Burnett. 9-7 Dodgers, 1 out, 9th inning. Way outside. So he had Wilson, no balls and 2 strikes, and he hits him. Then goes 3-1 and walks Burnett. That's the 3rd time tonight that Jeremy has walked. And the batter now is Charles Johnson. Let's check and see Charles Johnson against Gagne. 1 for 3 with a run batted in, and Matt Holliday on deck. He would bat for Bernero. Gagne working hard. 15 pitches so far. That's foul back. 0-1. When he relieved against the Rockies in the Odalis Perez game, he got the job done. 14 pitches, striking out 3. 0-1. And a high fly ball, but it's playable, I believe, watching Worth. Runners tag, the catch, and the runners hold. So I tell you, Charles Johnson hit a long fly ball. It seems like every fly ball is a long fly ball here, but Worth, right on the edge, made the catch. So 2 down, and here's Holliday. Matt Holliday faced Gagne at Dodger Stadium and struck out against him. And Jim Coburn going out to the mound to talk to Gagne just for a moment. This fella can swing the bat. He has 10 home runs, 39 runs batted in. They just don't have any place to put him. With an outfield of Burnitz, Wilson, and Walker, Matt Holliday has to wait his turn. So Holliday at the plate. And Gagne, having been instructed how the Dodgers plan to pitch to him. He's a big guy. So 2 on, 2 out. 0-1. Off speed. Maybe even a splitter. A lot of sink to that. 0-1 the count. And a chopper down to his turf. Tricky hop. Stayed with it to Cora, and that's it. Boy, the bottom dropped out of that ground ball, and his tourist made a fine play to get the last out, the force. So no runs, no hits. The player of the game, Milton Bradley, with his hand over his heart as if to Kane. It's a tough game here. It sure is. Milton had 2 singles, a double, and a walk, and a couple of RBIs. And the Dodgers hold on, make it 9 straight victories on the road. And now they will pick up a game on somebody. San Francisco and San Diego tied, the last we heard, 2-2 at the end of 6. Once again, the final score, Dodgers 9, Rockies 7. For Ross Porter and Rick Monday, this is Vin Scully saying so long from Denver. For Dodger postgame coverage and all the day's local sports news, it's the Southern California Sports Report coming up at 10 p.m. Talk to you tomorrow night with Perez and Cook. Good night, everybody.